Hi, church. Today we turn to Psalm 101. And Psalm 101 is a difficult psalm, as I've read it this morning and been wrestling with it and thinking about it devotionally, because it's presenting, in a sense, a longing that we have in our hearts for a perfect king, a perfect political ruler and leader that upholds justice, loves justice and steadfast love and faithfulness to God, and will not put up with wrongdoing in their administration. And like that's kind of what is going on in this psalm. King David says, I will sing of steadfast love and justice. I will worship you, O Lord. I will sing of your covenant faithfulness and your justice. And in a sense, he's saying, I'll make my life about those things. In verse 2, I'll ponder the way that is blameless. I will meditate on the way that is right and good, and I'll walk in it. Oh, when will you come to me, he asks. And then later in verse 2, he says, I will walk with integrity of heart within my house, within the king's house, not just his own private life, but he certainly means that, but also in the kingdom. I will be the kind of king in my household that will walk with integrity. I will not put up with lies. I will not put up with haughtiness, he says. If anyone slanders their neighbor, I will hold them to account. He says, I hate the works of those who fall away. It shall not cling to me. He's talking about his own advisors and leaders as a king. I won't put up with deceit or lies or people who fall away. Whoever slanders his neighbors secretly, I will destroy that person, he says. Whoever has a haughty look and an arrogant heart, I won't endure that in my household, in my kingship. I'll look with favor on the faithful in the land. They may dwell with me. No one who practices deceit shall dwell in my house. No one who utters lies shall continue before my eyes. And then he goes on with more. But basically what he's saying is, I'm going to pursue God as the king. And I'm not gonna put up with things that are against God's will. And there's a sense in which we all long for that. And as we certainly look at our own political situation, we long for this, right? To have leaders that would uphold justice, what's good and right and according to God's will, that would seek justice for those who are oppressed and who are suffering, and those powerful people that are taking advantage would be held to account and so forth. These things we long for, that our leaders would do what's right, would follow God and love God with all their heart. And then in a sense, as we read this psalm, though, you got to be listening with a historical ear and say, yeah, but man, I know about King David, and I know that ultimately this was not how he behaved in all circumstances, and that was true throughout his life. And he had good moments and bad moments, but he was a man like you and I, and so he had failings. And so ultimately, as we look at Psalm 101, this is the longing of the human heart for the true King of David, the Son of David, Jesus, who would come and be Messiah. So this is a messianic expectation in a way, this psalm. Even as David wrote it, there had to be an expectation of the Messiah being the one that would fulfill this kind of kingship. And so while David is a Christ figure in a way, he is not the Christ. Jesus is. And we long for the good and better David who will come and will reign with justice and steadfast love. And so as you are reading the news and interacting with the news on social media, wherever you get your information, and as you're certainly frustrated by what's happening in our society, no matter what your political bent, I guarantee you there's level of frustration. Instead of being cynical and angry, let's turn our hearts to faith and trust, believing and being thankful that there is a better David coming. We serve King Jesus now, but ultimately he's coming again, and he will establish a kingdom that will have no end, and it will be ruled beautifully and well. And we serve that king even right now. I love you, church. I hope you're having a great day. I look forward to seeing those of you who are able to join us on Sunday morning in person. And for those of you who can't join us, we'll see you online. May God bless you and keep you this day. I'll talk to you soon.